Buenos dias, don't be rude, say it back. Welcome back to The Beast Den. My name is Lynn the Beast. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how it is that you can stop feeling overwhelmed after going on a trip for work or for leisure and coming home with tons of content and just feeling like you have no idea how you're going to get through it all, how you're going to edit everything, what photos you can use, getting through those limiting beliefs. Just stop feeling overwhelmed with all of your post-travel content. This video is going to teach you exactly how it is that I travel, that I prep my content, that I plan exactly what it is, how I'm going to be navigating my content creation before, during, and after my trips. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it as we continue with our Comfort Creator 2025 series. In the last 2 months, if you've been following me on social media, you know I've been to Ireland, I've been to Atlanta, and I literally just this week got back from Dominican Republic. As a content creator, you already know I'm getting all the shots. I'm getting all the photos, all the videos, I'm getting all the audio. I'm just getting all of the content because hello, why wouldn't I, right? Let me show you exactly what that looks like because it is insane. So I have content on my Nikon, I have content on both of these phones, and then of course my DJI, and I have SD cards galore. And after you get home and you've rested for a couple of days, you all of a sudden start scrolling through your content pieces and you're like, dang, I got content that I have no idea what I'm gonna do with. And at this point, you start getting anxious because you just got back from vacation, time's ticking, you have to post it right now, right? Or if I don't post it now, I can't post it later. This is personal content, I can't use it for business. Or you struggle with the belief of, I already posted this in XYZ place, I can't repost it over here. Those are all lies. You can post whatever content you want to post as many times as you want to post it. People have a 0.0 span of attention, meaning even if they saw that photo or that video in your stories a couple of days ago, they probably don't even remember it. And Instagram doesn't show your content to everybody. So there's people that maybe saw it on your stories that didn't see it in feed. Get out of your own head. People love to see your content. You are their comfort creator. They want to see the things that excite you. They want to see what you have been up to. So you can definitely post it. If you are in your head about that content not being business worthy, I'm going to show you a little later how it is that you can integrate your personal content into your business content. And then if you are stuck in that space of, oh my gosh, this happened last month, I can't post it, y'all, you haven't even seen my Ireland video, and that was from last month. I've only posted a couple of photos on Instagram from my Ireland trip. Again, and that happened last month. I'm probably not gonna post those photos until fall. Why? Because all of those photos do not match my current aesthetic. So you won't be seeing those photos until maybe September. I don't care. You won't remember. You'll be excited when they do drop because that is the confidence that I have as your comfort creator. All right, so let's jump into exactly how it is I prepare for my content before. How it is I prepare for my content before I even leave for my trip. So if you can see here, I'm gonna bring you behind the scenes here. Excuse the mess, but as you can see here, this is my vision board for Ireland. Before I left, I had created exactly what are the images that I wanted on my phone. I wanted to know exactly what images I wanted to recreate, and that way I had an idea before I left. This mood board I just create on Canva, and I will give you the exact one that I use in the description box down below so that you can recreate your own. Now, along with the photos that you want to grab, now, where do I get these photos? I usually get these photos from Pinterest. That is the #1 space that I use for all of my ideas, and you can follow me on Pinterest, again, down below. But I do create an actual board for the photos that I want to recreate. So I pretty much just dump everything that I want, anything that I know I'm going to use for my business, so any sort of value that I know I already want to give. So for example, my series on my 10 days of sabbatical as a workaholic, I already knew that that was a series that I wanted. So all of the content that I was creating was going to have that at the center, at the core. How is that unselfish? Because I know that the majority of my audience, the majority of you are also workaholics, and you struggle with rest, and you struggle with stepping back and detaching from your business. So everything that I created, I wanted to make sure had that at the center of the messaging. Now, your shot list does not need to be extensive by any means. I actually just use my notes app and I write down what is the content that I absolutely need to get. So for example, for Ireland, I knew that I wanted some content of me doing my skincare on the plane. I knew that I wanted some photos of that TSA flat lay. There's things that I know that I want to get, and instead of just depending on it being in here, I write it down because you retain 90% of the information that you actually write down, and then I add it to my shot list. I add it to my notes app. I also add it to my digital mood board. Once you have picked out all of your photos, put them in a Pinterest board dump, you add them to your mood board, which again, that template is going to be down below. Then at that point, and you already have it in your notes app, right? So that as you're on the go, you already know what are the photos that you want to recreate. You download that mood board, you add it to your lock screen so that every time you open up your lock screen, you can be like, oh, wait a minute, I wanted to recreate this photo. Awesome, perfect, let's get to it. You are coming into your vacation, whether it's for work or for leisure, very intentional. You already know what are the images that you want to grab, rather than going into your vacation and trying to snag photos because you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta get content. This allows you to be a lot more present. The next thing that you want to do is dump it from your notes app into a Google Doc. If you don't have an international phone, you don't have an international line, if there's no Wi-Fi, you want to be able to access your content or your ideas offline. The Google Docs app allows you to do that. So make sure that you can download it on a Google Docs app and enable the offline feature so that you can edit as you go. Because sometimes you'll be on the plane. I know I get a ton of content ideas on the plane, or once I'm actually at the location, I'm like, oh my gosh, I would love to get some images of this, or I would love to go to that botanical and get some content of that. I want to add it to my shot list so that again, it's at the top of my mind and it's not something that I'm just kind of doing as a afterthought, right? Because again, the whole point of being a comfort creator is creating content that is unselfish, content that is value-based for your viewer. You already have that in your Google Doc, right? You already know exactly what it is that you want to create. You already know exactly what's the value that you want to provide for your audience. Once you get back home, you don't even have to worry about captions. You don't have to worry about how you're going to turn them into emails or anything like that. Because you already know what the value is, you can then insert it into ChatGPT if you don't want to create or don't have the energy to create your captions on your own. You can give it the baseline or the skeleton that you've already created on Google, feed it into Chatty, and then ask Chatty, can you please create a threads? Can you please create a email sequence for this? Can you please create a YouTube video for this based off of the skeleton that I have just given you? This is how you can make the most out of your content. When we're talking about how do you take your content and use it for business, this is how. You are already approaching your travel content from a place of, again, how can I bring value to my audience? So ChatGPT already has that skeleton to build off of. You're not asking it to build you something brand new. You're asking it to build off of what you already have fed it. That's exactly how you can use it for business. That's exactly how you can stop worrying about your captions or what you're going to say or anything like that, because you already built your skeleton beforehand. You already knew what it is you wanted to provide, the value you wanted to provide before you even went on that trip. Once you come back, right, the first thing that you're going to do after you've already fed ChatGPT all of your captions, your emails, your video scripts, right? You already have that all done. Now let's move into the editing of your photos, the editing of your videos. Once you have already done your captions, your emails, your video scripts, now it's time for the major dump. Now it's time for you to import all of your content. One really easy way that you can do this is while you're at the airport, just favorite all of the photos that you really loved, all of the videos that you really loved. You don't have to start editing right away. Just favorite the ones that you really like. I like to create an album on my phone, and it's just the location that I was at and the year. It just makes it easier for me to airdrop everything into my computer. And then that way I just have one major file inside my external hard drive. Of course, this is the Lacey hard drive. I think this is the 512. For something like Ireland, I did have day 1, day 2, day 3, all the way up to day 10. It just makes it easier, especially because I have, of course, the smaller series, which is the 10-day sabbatical, and I have my long form content, which is my upcoming vlog. So if you haven't already subscribed, this is definitely the time for you to do that. I do have my upcoming Ireland vlog that's coming out, as well as my Dominican Republic vlog that's going to come out over the next couple of weeks. I'm constantly on the go, and if you want to know exactly how I do that with 4 kids and all of the things, then subscribe to the channel. The easiest way for me to edit my content, whether that's short form or long form, is on my computer. I do use Final Cut Pro, and there is a feature where all you have to do is select the vertical option for short form content, and I will include that right here. When you are importing your content, if you are trying to create short form content, then all you have to do is select the vertical option, and it will automatically resize it to YouTube standards, TikTok, Instagram, Reels, like just that portrait size video. So you don't even have to worry about reformatting it. And then from there, I just go ahead, edit it to my liking, and then airdrop it to my phone. Easy, easy peasy. So I want to take a second right now if you are still feeling overwhelmed, and I just want to kind of go through exactly how it is I create massive amounts of content without feeling overwhelmed. Number one, I do not just wait to get to the location to create the content. I'm highly, highly intentional about what's the content that I want to create, what's the value that I want to bring to my audience, because being a comfort creator is being unselfish. You always want to keep your audience at the core of all of the content that you're making. So I know exactly what it is I want to recreate, what's the value I want to give. I know exactly how I'm going to do that because I put it all into a mood board that I then have on my lock screen, and then all of my ideas and my scripting I add to a Google Drive that I can edit offline, especially if I'm overseas. This is a really important piece of that. And that way I can add to that list or eliminate things or cross things off if they've already been created. At that point, I go in, I feed it to ChatGPT so it can help me optimize those ideas for captions, so that it can help me optimize those ideas for videos or emails. From there, I do the massive dump of photos, videos, sometimes even just audios that I want to include, and I edit everything on my computer. Sometimes you get so caught up in like, I can't use this content because it's for my business page. Not a big deal. If you are struggling with that thought, you can always use that content for IG stories as a way of nurturing, or even your emails as a way of nurturing your clients, so that they can feel like they know you, so that they can feel like there's a face behind the brand, right? This is just a really great piece of relational content that you can use. Really identify, like, when it comes to your content, your travel content pieces, cool, that's great, you're at a beach, but how does this benefit your person? How does this benefit your ideal client? For example, if you are taking photos of you at the beach, then okay, great. Maybe you are taking photos at the beach, but it's more modest wear, right? Maybe you're taking photos at the beach and it's like how to feel confident at the beach with a mom body. Give your audience more than just like, this is me on a cute, in a cute bikini. Like, why should they care? I think that's the most important piece of this entire video, is how do you not only not feel overwhelmed with your content, but how do you create your content in a way that is mindful, in a way that is intentional, create your content in a way that is going to give you longevity with the pieces that you have already intentionally been inspired to recreate or to create. How do you do that in a way that really brings something to the table? You want to be the creator that your audience comes back to every single time. You want to be the person that they think of. Like, I always think about it like this. Like, if my audience wants to go to Ireland, I want them to think of me as their go-to. I want them to think of me as, oh my gosh, Sloan went to Ireland and she had some really great tips. Sloan went to Ireland and I want to see what she decided to pack. I want to see what she decided to wear. I want to see how she got her husband prepared to stay with 6 kids for 2 weeks. How did she do that, right? That is what I constantly think of, is how can I bring value to my audience using my unique experience and my unique perspective. So I hope this video was helpful. If it was, definitely be sure to give it a thumbs up. And I really want to make sure that this is a season that you can really leverage to become the comfort creator that you absolutely are. I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions, please be sure to leave them down below. Check out the resources as well that I have for you in the description box, the mood board as well. And if you have any questions, please be sure to reach out. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Sweet nightmares, Peace fam.